Hi, hello, this is a new chess video and a chess game between the popular Hans Niemann and the Turkish grandmaster Vahap Sanal or Shanal, I'm not sure. And he's one of the top Turkish grandmasters in Turkey, and he plays with black pieces, and it's like around 9.6. I don't know what does it mean. And they played Queen's Gambit declined, and so their rating is also sort of similar, like there's a 100 difference, but Hans Niemann is indeed played in more reputable tournaments because he lives in the US, so it's easier for him. And Hans Niemann started with, you can see the chess engine analysis there. And Hans Niemann opened with c4 and e6 is Vahap Shanal's response, and later he can play with d5 because to control the center of the game. And this is the point that Queen's Gambit declined because black didn't take this pawn. So white decided to take it. If you're not gonna take it, I'm gonna take it. So, and then this looks like quite symmetrical game. Like they played like similar things. Like there are pieces. The knight is hanging. The bishop is a pinned piece, and this is also pinned piece. And they will decide whether it's worth to. So white decided to develop his bishop, the other bishop. So some say that this is not the best because it prevents bishop to go back, and you cannot go back to d2 to protect this knight, and you cannot. There's a chance that e4 can come to the play later. That is sort of risky, and so like d2 can stop this dangerous e4. But there are other there are other things to prevent it too. So then Vahap played h6, and then he played here just aggressively following the bishop. Like, I'm not gonna let you pin my piece. This is, some recommend such moves, some don't recommend this moves, because once you start doing it, then you cannot castle your king any soon. So your king cannot cannot castle there, this side, and on the other hand, it allows you to advance your pawns and gives more pressure on your opponent. This is also very important because and also you can he can be sure that what white will play, so he will definitely play like g3. There's no other play. And he played his knight there, and now he can take this bishop. And then so black is trading this knight, but this is not a big deal because black actually prefers taking this bishop. But that move is interesting indeed. So this move f3 is worth to mention. So f3 can can force this knight to do something, and this is good. But at the same time, it opens it makes this king vulnerable. It's in the middle, and there's, like, in the near future, there's a chance that the knight will take it, and then it's like, yeah, the pawn can protect, but this pawn's almost arrived the king side, and there are other pieces can attack in the near future. And while none of the white pieces is in the, you see the black seems more active in the area, like in the fourth rank there are two pieces, black pieces, there are three pawns there waiting there, and they're like waiting for the attack. And then he played this, he took the bishop, and this is, I think, the most logical move. And then now this rook is activated, but I'm not sure this activated rook can mean a lot. Like, for example, he can develop tactics like e2 maybe in the future to attack this pawn, but he can advance it simply, and then there's no, so this attack cannot be like really fatal. And now white cannot eat this pawn, but because the pin. But once, if there is no pin, this white knight is dangerous. But now black is now using the advantage of the king in the middle, because white can take this piece, and after taking it, this will be a problem. So, and one approach is castling, but after castling, he plays it, and then there's also still check. And after check, God knows where he will settle. So this is also a problem. And like if the moment that queen take this piece, then black is definitely like up a lot of piece. Another way is protecting this pawn with queen, like, but then I think if I were him, I would just protect with queen and later castle. I think I'm not sure, but he's grandmaster, so he must know better than me. Then maybe there are other critical moves like threading this, can thread this pawn, like for example, can play like f5, f6 later, and then maybe that is a bigger problem. But eventually I think white has to play like a3 and force this bishop to go away. But this I don't know. Well, this king, so I will prefer being black with black pieces in this position. And he opened this. He has to protect this pawn because there's no pin now, and he wants to kick this bishop away. And knight b5 was played. So he wants to take this dangerous bishop indeed, and then he took it. And there are some, I'm sure there are some tricky moves, and then so he wants to be sure that there cannot do any tricks. Now there is a queen g3 check. But the queen d3 check is not very dangerous, I guess. But he still has to. So, but I think knight e2 can protect against this check. Also, rook h3 can protect against this check, but this check is not that dangerous, I guess. So he can just go to e2, and he cannot take any piece with his queen, and he has to support it with other pieces. And so it's not very big problem, I guess, so far. But once he brings more pieces, more material into the white, then it's a problem. And he played knight h3. Maybe he will play like f4, and then it seems like forcing this pawn not to protect this pawn, and then this pawn cannot advance in the future, and he can prevent queen from entering here somehow. But black pieces are well protected and he plays quite positionally, and let's see what he will play. So he played this f6, and he played this. He activated his bishop to d3, and then a5, and he played f5, bishop f5. Bishop f5 seems good to play because black. So white thinks that I think draw is better. My king is in this weird place, and I can get checkmated anytime. Let's exchange all the pieces and draw the game. But I don't like that type of people playing like that. And anyway, but it's a logical move indeed. And then he took it, and now the danger is not that big. And queen is infiltrated in the king side, and then he prevents him to. He wants to prevent him to like castle. Like if he plays the king he cannot castle, but he can protect. Instead, he protected with. He wants to exchange queen too. So after exchanging queen, I think the game will end draw, or I don't know. I think it is drawish game. So queen c2, but white doesn't want to like draw, and white thinks that I'm better than him. I'm well rated more than him. I want to win. And then he played f4 and rook e1. So this king is also in danger, and he has to somehow stop it. Yeah, so he played king d8 instead of castling. Why he didn't castle? Because if he castled, then he will lose this pawn. And I said in the previously, like why he played there. So I think there's no logic, there's no sense of playing there. And queen f5 was played later. Here I can't say who is winning. So queen g6, and black wants like, I want to draw, you're a good player, I know, so let's exchange the pieces and let's endgame, join endgame, and finally did it. Right, so but it's not a very funny game, but interesting game indeed. But now white king is not in bad position because there's no queen, there's no like complex situations. So so they're equal according to the engine, and materially they're equal, but white losing sort of. I don't know why, because I think because white pawns are more advanced than the blacks. Sorry, black's pawn is more advanced, and rook e1 is forcing, like, I'm gonna check you, maybe there are some interesting moves there, and rook here in a1 is not doing anything, and knight here is not very good place too, similarly, but can be activated anytime, I guess. And then rook e played rook e2, and he played rook, and he secured his king. He played his king to there too. And then the endgame starts. So now what happened? So suddenly the engine is like in favor of one position. So let's see which attack can make it correct. So we're looking forward to the attack, but the attack doesn't come. Like what they will do, what they should do. How? This is like and waiting. So this is like 3.5, but there's no piece going on actually. There's no exchange. Oh, okay. Now after knight take g2, so black is up a pawn, but what is white trying to do? I don't get it. Like all. Play there. He go back to f4. It says like the difference is like 4, so he will indeed advance, and there's no way to stop it. And then they try to exchange, and this knight is so annoying there. It's like, why does it take this knight at some point, maybe? Yeah, knight took it, as I said. And then after knight took it, so that's why the engine was that in favor of the black pieces. Minus, and then so white gave up. White gave up on this game. So we see that the advantage of advancing the pawns in the beginning. So those pawns advanced there was useful there. They were kicking the bishop. They come to this, score, and at the end of the game they were an asset. And then White couldn't take advantage of those wasted moves, and White couldn't come up with a proper idea, so then lost it. And thanks for watching this video, and see you